the daughter of civil rights activist Dr. Stephen Reece Sr. and the late Barbara Reece, who marched for me 50 years ago.
A champion for voting rights.
We're going to bring you people that know about business. We're going to bring you people that know about what's going on in the tech. Put some soul into this whole tech thing that's going on.
She's a fighter for the people.
Welcome, Reverend Al Sharpton, to the show.
Congratulations on your show.
She's authentic.
We're bringing Joe Madison, known as the Black Eagle.
Congratulations on having the show. Nothing is more important than the local programs that engage our communities.
She's a proud HBCU grad. It's time for Alicia Reece's Soul Food, food for the soul, on Cincinnati's 24-hour urban gospel connection, Inspiration 1050 AM and 103.1 FM, WGRI.
Hey everyone, it's Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reece, and guess what? It's voting time. That's right. I want to invite you to join me at 10:30 a.m. this Saturday as we come together for my 9th annual Women's March, and we're adding the men as we march together to vote. Now, this is the only Saturday that you can vote before the election. So I'm encouraging you to meet me this Saturday, 10:30 a.m. We're going to meet right at that building right there. Meet me there, and then we're going to march, but we're going to march for something. We're going to march to come in and have our voices heard. Now, you'll be asking, is Alicia Reece on the ballot? I'm not on the ballot this time. My time is not up yet. But guess what? I do this every election because every election is essential. Every vote is essential. It's your power. It's your voice. Don't give it up. Don't just debate about it. Don't just get mad about it. Don't just talk about it on social media. Come exercise your right to vote. And we've got elections of all kinds of offices throughout Hamilton County. So we can all vote right here at the Hamilton County Early Vote Center. Meet me Saturday. Bring your families. We're marching to the polls and we're marching to vote. See you Saturday.
Rocks. So we said, give us the rocks. And the rocks is now going to be an international tourism attraction.
For somebody to put some time into it like that, you got to be real. That's a big sacrifice to step out by yourself.
I dedicated 5 years in getting this to go from vision to reality. We needed to have public and private partnership.
All I saw was a bunch of rocks. I'm like, how you gonna put a Walk of Fame right here?
For 20 years, we've been trying to figure out what to do with that particular lot.
What in the world? Like, it's just rocks, Commissioner Reece. So I'm like, what they building or what? She doing what? What is this? What is she doing? Just listening to Alicia tell me how it's gonna be, I'm like, we can never make this happen.
Commissioner Alicia Reece had her ups and downs during this entire process. She even had to have knee surgery.
God prepared me for this journey, and I didn't even know it a long time ago.
Commissioner Reece told me, go to Kinko's and print off a flyer. And I mean, this is the morning of.
People from all over the world will come here and understand the stories behind our legends and our icons. We created the culture. It came from right here.
All right, we are here at Bethel Baptist Church. Yes. We're live here in Walnut Hills for Alicia Reece Soul Food. Now, last week I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I want to give a big shout out to Grambling State University. Boy, y'all can clap for that. Grambling! Yes. It was just phenomenal. We were in the inaugural HBCU Classic in Las Vegas. And it was a nail biter, and Grambling won. GSU. We were screaming, GS, you. I thought you knew. That goes out to all my Jackson State folks. We played Jackson State, and Jackson State was picked to win. Or picked to win until the Grambling Tigers showed up and showed out. We also won the halftime show. We just took over Las Vegas. But for me, it was just so great to see a lot of my alumni. Hadn't seen them in about 10 years. And Grambling it's been a lot. I had a great career at Grambling State University, got a great education. I was Miss Grambling State University. I started my first radio show that I created called It's the Weekend, Baby. And I had all the hype happenings on the weekend. It was the most popular show that I created from my brain. And we had it. I didn't know it was going to be that big, but it turned out to be so big and people just really still remember it. We had a show of 50,000 watts, just to give you a hint of what that is. WLW radio had, I think, 50,000 watts. Now they're at 100,000 watts. It was huge. I'm talking about, we were in Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana. So it was just a great opportunity to have a show. And so celebrating this year, 30 years of my first time ever having a radio show. And it was at Grambling's KGRM. And I really appreciate the opportunity. And now this show, Alicia Reece Soulfood, which comes on every Friday live, and it replays every Saturday on 103.1 FM, 1050 AM. And this is our 8th year, y'all. 8th year. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate it. And we're going to have a celebration. And thank you all for rocking with me for 8 years with Alicia Reece Soulfood, where we bring the hot sauce every single Friday. So yeah, it was just great. You know, Grambling, like I said, I was Miss Grambling State. I was a SWAC basketball champion. We won the SWAC my freshman year. Radio show, and got my degree. So I had a lot going on at Grambling. Grambling is a part of the fabric of who I am. Learned a lot, and it was just great to get away, get back to Grambling, and now I'm ready. I am ready. So just wanted to thank everyone from Grambling State University. It was great seeing you guys. And I got a chance to do my show from a school down in over in Nevada, Las Vegas. And you guys check it out. You can go to our page, Alicia Reece Soulfood, and see it. I got a chance to interview the president, the current Miss Grambling State University, and more. So you want to check it out. It was just a really great show. Now I'm back in Cincinnati, back in Hamilton County, and unfortunately, dealing with the issue of the SNAP benefits, dealing with the issue of furloughed federal workers. I want y'all to understand the real backdrop to that. We have people who are working for the federal government who are not being paid. It's not like they're at home on paid leave. We're saying they are working, they have to show up to work and have no paycheck. Never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. And so we're in some unprecedented times, which calls for all of us to do things in an unprecedented way. We've got to stand up. We've got to fight. We have to make sure that this is no time for us to be silent and sitting back. And so we are here at Bethel Baptist Church because we just had a press conference that I had with pastors and organizations, the NAACP, the Prince Hall Masons and Shriners, pastors across this county, because we said, wait a minute, we have to stand up. And so I'm going to give you some things so that you can understand what's going on. It's hard to keep up with sometimes. So you got the federal workers, furloughed, no pay, government shutdown, but you still have to show up to work. Bills are still due. Gas and electric, mortgage, rent, all those things still due. Then on top of it, because of the shutdown, SNAP benefits, they said they're not going to fund them. President said, no, we're not going to fund these SNAP benefits. So SNAP benefits That's your food. We're talking senior citizens. We're talking veterans. We're talking families. We're talking children. SNAP benefits. They said it was going to expire on November the 1st, and it is. That's tomorrow. That's Saturday. For those who are listening to me on Saturday, it's today. And those who listen to me on Friday, it's tomorrow. This is unprecedented. Unprecedented. So we have that going on. In the meantime, everything's going up. Everything's going up. With that being said, we had a press conference on Tuesday down at the county. And I said, hey, Governor, it's very important. Governor, it's very important that we need you to sign an executive order. They told me there's no way he can do an executive order. Well, I called for it on Tuesday. Others were calling for him to go to the rainy day fund. He signed an executive order on Thursday for $25 million. Okay, the rainy day fund has a couple $2 billion. And we'll talk about that a little later. But to give you some context, 97,000 Hamilton County citizens rely on SNAP benefits. 97,000. That's just our county. It's $19 million a month that just our county pays in SNAP benefits. In 1 year, it's $240 million. Okay. The governor signed an executive order. We were getting ready to go to $0. Okay. He came and did an executive order, and he signed for $25 million. Now that is across all 88 counties. Well, remember, Hamilton County alone is $19 million. Okay. With that being said, we must have the federal government put SNAP back in. We can't food pantry our way out of this. He put $7 million toward food pantries. The county, we put $220 extra $1,000 toward food pantries. So we bought a little bit of time, but we still have to get the government to move forward. With that being said, we announced today a petition, an online petition, where you, the citizens, because they've heard from all the politicians, they've heard from me, they've heard from the county, the state, the federal, they're doing all the talking. But we got to talk to the people. You have to have a chance to have a voice. And so we have a petition, and I think we're going to put it in the chat on the page. Go to my page, Alicia Reece Soulfood, and we have a petition. We'll have it also on WGRI's website as well. And that's important. We want you, so we're asking the churches and organizations to share the link so we could get this petition drive moving and grooving. And so they can hear directly from you, and we'll be presenting it. But this is not the time to get quiet. This is not the time to sit back. This is not the time to get rolled over. In addition, it also is the time to vote. It's time to vote. Now, even though I'm not on the ballot this time, I don't come back on the ballot to the presidential year. Congress is not on the ballot this time. The federal candidates are not on there, but they need to know that you're checking in, that we're coming. And so this election, we have villages, townships, and cities. So I've got mayors with an S, council members with an S, township trustees with an S, school board members with an S. I represent CPS, but even more school boards than CPS. And we got school board members. So you must get out and vote. If you're not in the game, believe me, you're on the menu. So get out and vote. And I am leading my 9th annual. I'm inviting all of you. The only Saturday that you can vote is this Saturday before the election and this Sunday before the election. So this Saturday, meet me at the Board of Elections. We are going to march. You'll look for us. We'll be right across the street with the little brown building behind the bank. You'll see us. We're marching to vote. We're marching to vote. And so we're marching to do something. A lot of times we march, but we can't empower. We're marching, we're marching. Now we can march and take some action. So meet me there, 10:30. Be on time if you can. We're going to start on time. We're not going to be long because we're marching to go vote. I'm going to vote on Saturday. We're going to early vote. So you don't say, oh, where do I vote at? I don't know where to vote. We're at the Board of Elections. Any race in Hamilton County, you can vote at the Board of Elections. North College Hill got a election. You can vote at the Board of Elections on this Saturday. Lincoln Heights got an election. You can vote at the Board of Elections this Saturday. Woodlawn, you can vote at the Board of Elections this Saturday. Colerain Township, Springfield Township, you can vote at the Board of Elections this Saturday. City of Cincinnati, City of Norwood, you can vote at the Board of Elections this Saturday. Meet me there. Now, normally I have my women. I want women and men. We must unite in this fight. We're going to vote. So that's item number one. Item number two, we're going to sign the petition. We're going to sign the petition. Where can you find it? You'll be able to find it on my page, all my pages, Alicia Reece Soulfood, Alicia Reece, Hamilton County. We've got the NAACP is going to have it up. Churches are going to have it up everywhere. You could do it on your phone. You could do it on your phone. Okay. So that's what I want to make sure you know. There is an election. I don't want to hear about it after the election's over. You can do it right now. So with that, we've got some guests that'll be coming up. We got a guest coming up. Is Pastor, Bishop? I wanted to start with you. There he is. This man can preach and break dance at the same time. And let me just say this. I saw a pastor on and he's pop locking. I said, what is this other pastor? Don't let me go get Bishop now. He was pop locking. Let me move you over. We got to move over here to the. All right. Okay, here we go. Well, first of all, I'm going to properly introduce you. Bishop Dr. Brian Walker. We are here at your church, Bethel, and I want to thank you for everything that you do. We are also in a food desert. We're in Walnut Hills where there's a food desert. There's no grocery store in Walnut Hills. And we're here at your church, but also at your pantry. We just had a press conference today. Tell us, what do you see at the times? You have a pantry. You're open on what days?
So today it was our light pantry day, and then next Friday will be our big pantry day. And first of all, I want to thank you, Miss Alicia Reece, for all you do in the community. We call and complain, and 24 hours, 72 hours, you're there. So you're definitely boots on the ground. So I appreciate all that you're doing and thus far. But here's the thing. You've seen this. You've seen this before with the 513 relief bus and some of those things. So you are a woman ahead of your time. So with that being said, with our church here in Bethel and Walnut Hills, we are in the food desert. We have no Kroger's. We have no grocery store. So we try to do a little bit that we can with our pantry. And so we're doing the best we can. So with our donations, we're paying to feed people. Mm-hmm. And I always say it's not for the poor, it's for the hungry. And so all are welcome. So.
Well, I wanted to be here because you've always been in the community. This is nothing new. And just like you reminded me about the 513 relief bus, people don't understand, this is how did I come up with it? Well, in 2019, I was running and the pandemic hit.
Correct.
And the governor said, you got 2 hours. We're going to shut the whole state down. And I said, man, I know they said don't go out there, but I went out there with Meals on Wheels because they couldn't find people to help because everybody said they staying inside because we didn't know what was out there. This is when they told you don't wear a mask, wear gloves. Mm-hmm. And I wore the gloves and I was running out there and I just started seeing all kind of people. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember I went to a man's house. He had Confederate flags everywhere. And I'm like, dang, is he going to want to see me? Man, he hugged me so tight because I was bringing this food.
Exactly.
He said, oh, man. And then another gentleman, he didn't want me to leave, a senior, older white gentleman. And he was way out. And I'm like, dang, nobody. He said, why don't you sit and have something to eat with me? I mean, he just did not want me to leave. And I said, well, I got to go deliver. We got to get to the next stop. And he said, will I ever see any humans again?
Wow.
And will I ever have any food again? Then I went to a place. We kept knocking on the door. We didn't know if the guy was alive in there or not. He says, I'm on my way, but it took him like 30 minutes. It was just a small apartment. Well, he was there and he was on a machine and he didn't know, of course, the nurse hadn't been there because the COVID, and he was trying to get around, could barely walk to get the food.
Yeah.
And then I just remember having tears in my eyes, like, man, I got to do more. I want to do something. So when, and then in Evanston at the rec center, I was there giving out food and they wanted to start a food pantry. And so when I fast forward, got elected, COVID didn't go away. Mm-hmm. And I said, man, we got to get this 513 relief bus. I didn't have a name for it then. And remember, we had the press conference. Mm-hmm. I said, Walker, you said too many people. I know we in the funeral business, but This is getting out of hand.
Exactly.
And I said, we're going to do a press conference. We came up to Walker Funeral Home, Joe Mallory, NAACP, and yourself and me. And I said, we need a bus.
Yes.
And that time we didn't have no bus. And I said, well, let's look at Hampton. Hampton had an RV. I flew down to Hampton because I had to show them that this is real in the middle of COVID or coronavirus, as they called it then. And God protected me. I didn't get it. Thank God. Jesus, yes. And I came back and created the 513 relief bus. I said, we got to have this bus. It's got to go around. It can't just be for COVID. It's got to be, this is how we do business now. And we built this bus. And originally they said it couldn't work. You opened up, we were over here with you. Yep. And and it was the churches that opened up their lots so we could have where to bring the bus. Correct. And we had a body double. And I said, let me show it can work. And while they building the real one, and we did $100 million in rental assistance. We now have helped 30,000 people. We kept people's lights on while we had the money. Now that money would have went back to Washington. Now you see what happened when our money go to Washington. Exactly. Now you don't want to go to Washington. Don't take. We want the money to stay here, and we helped a lot of people. Now that bus is 200 locations, and now it's still out there helping, not knowing that we're gonna have this SNAP problem. Yeah. And my position has always been, everybody has their thing in elected officials or politics. For me, it's helping the people and trying to help people connect to the resources. Mm-hmm. And so now we got the SNAP problem. Mm-hmm. We're back. I called you. We back here again.
Back here again. Yeah.
And we had pastors, Pastor Donald Jones, and so many organizations.
And AACP.
Yeah.
AAEW. And so, again, I want to make sure we're giving you your flowers because of things that you've seen years ago and we're just now catching up with, even from the contract with our beloved Bengals. You was hard on that, and you brought revelation to what's going on with that. And so, again, I appreciate you. And so, hopefully, we'll catch up with you. Hopefully, we'll start listening and saying, you seem like you're the person that's on the Titanic says, iceberg coming, iceberg coming. We just doing our thing. So here we are now. So hopefully, perfectly, with the news that we just received from Governor DeWine, you were at the forefront of, and I believe it was 25 million.
Yeah, we got 25 million from the
25 million to the average person sounds a lot.
It sounds like a lot.
When you're spending 19
million just in our county. So it's going to be, we got to find out exactly how much we're going to get.
Absolutely.
It's a stopgap, but again, we was at zero. Mm-hmm. We was about to be at zero tomorrow. We're not at zero. Yeah. It's just we got to hold on and we got to keep fighting. And what I looked at it as, because they told me it was impossible. Mm-hmm. And I said the governor needs to do executive order. Oh, that can't happen and that won't happen and you can't get it done and he can't do it and he can't. And that was on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, he signed an executive order. Right. I think what it's saying is that we got to keep fighting.
Absolutely.
Got to keep that faith. And we can't back up, mm-hmm. and we can't be afraid to call it out.
Absolutely.
And that's why we wanted to have the petition. Mm-hmm. They said, "Oh, the petition! You never know. This petition Nobody has heard from the people.
Right.
We're all kind of, the elected officials are interpreting, But I said, let's take it to the people and let the people have a voice through the petition and send it to our representatives, and they understand it. Then we got to vote. So they say, wait a minute, those people who have emailed, it's a petition. And by the way, they outvote.
Yes.
I think I better listen.
Yeah. You're the voice of the, I always call you, she hates when I say it, she's the people's champ. You're the voice of the people, but finally people have been calling, what can I do? Now we finally have an opportunity for us as far as voting and going out here and sign this petition. Now we're saying, here's what we need you to do. And so we need everybody to go out there and sign this petition.
Yeah, so it's all about action. It doesn't cost you anything. Voting doesn't cost you anything. Signing a petition doesn't cost you anything. And this is a chance for you to stand up, for you to be heard. I hear people all the time say, hey, my vote might not matter and all that. If you sit at home, it don't matter. And this doesn't cost you anything. And you could come and have your voice heard. Like I said, on Tuesday, they told me it's impossible. Reece, you don't need to be telling him to sign no executive order. He can't do it because he got to get this one and that one and this one and that one. And honestly, I almost backed up and not did it. I said, well, maybe I don't. Maybe they ain't right. But then I stood up and said, well, what I got to lose?
Right.
He need to sign an executive order.
Right. And when you gave it and said it, what everybody else say, Alicia Reece is right.
But it
took one person. It took one person to finally say, hey, we need to do something. And my dad, you said, it's more than what you had.
Well, thank you. And and I have had a history. People don't know this. I have a history of working bipartisan. When I was on city council, DeWine's son was on city council. We ran at the same time. The Governor DeWine, his son, Pat DeWine. He was the Republican, and I had a committee. And because I was standing up for the people, some people on my committee said, we ain't going to be on the committee because we're going to kill off her committee.
Wow.
Right? My committee dealt with health, jobs, employment. So they said, we'll crush Reece. You have to have 3 people. We're going to get off the committee. His son called me. He said, wait a minute, Reece, we both young. We the 2 young people right now. I want to join your committee. He said, but don't take my head off. I said, well, don't say nothing dumb.
Right.
We okay. And so we ended up, and I got so much done. And he would just sit on that committee. And what I told him, I said, listen, I know I'm a Democrat. I know you're Republican. You can't go this far and I ain't going that far. That's why we both in different parties. But all this in the middle to help people, we can do it. Let's work together. So we got the small business tax repealed. We got the property tax repealed. See, people don't know all this stuff. He did the repeal on how we can hire chiefs from the outside. When we did the collaborative, you had to get the mayor told me, he wasn't inside. Charlie Lucas said, I will go with the collaborative, Reece, is only if you get 9 votes. Now 9 votes on something that controversial. Come on. We wouldn't have even had it because we wouldn't have had the votes. So I had to call him. He was holding out. I had 8. I needed 9. I said, man, this is history. You got to do this. He said, Reece, if the FOP go with it, I'm going to go with it. Well, FOP, I went to the FOP hall and it was hard to go walk up in there because it was rough during those times. I stood in the back to make sure that they kept their commitment. They voted, kept their commitment. I got on the phone. I said, they in. And this is history, and you can't be on the wrong side. And so he went with it. So people don't know. And then you take that up to the state house. I'm in a super minority. I can't get nothing done. I mean, Democrats, basically, they don't even need us to show up. We in a super minority. We just there for window dressing. So I show up, and I get a Republican governor, Kasich. And out of that, I said, listen, you're only doing 1% with minority businesses. I challenged him as the president of Black Caucus. We went to 19%. Went to 19% and way over what we were supposed to have. And I ended up doing the Martin Luther King highway exit. When people do get off that exit on Martin Luther King and they be said, I'm so happy now I can get to the hospital. I'm over to Avondale. I cut the deal with the Republican governor because he needed my help in Cleveland. I said, I'm the president of Black Caucus. I can't help you in Cleveland if you can't do nothing down here in Cincinnati. He said, what you got, Reece? I said, I got the Martin Luther King highway exit. It was the only new highway exit in the country. But that was a Republican governor.
Yeah.
And then when he came down to do the ribbon cut, he said, wait a minute, hold up, where's Reece?
Yes, that's
And I know, Pastor, you tell him to stay out of the casinos, but I will tell you that I cut the deal for the casinos too. He had stopped the casinos. And I met with him, and I was the only Democrat he met with. He said he don't know why. God told him to meet with me. And he said, who are you? And, I was just a freshman, but I went to work. And they opened up the casinos, and he gave me the credit. I mean, I couldn't believe it. So I have a history of being able to, God has allowed me to work on these different things. And now you got DeWine, and he's the governor, and he don't do everything I'll be wanting, all the time. But I said, well, let me throw it out. But when we had the bus, the idea for the bus, they asked him at that, remember that 2:00 meeting, you had to always turn on the TV. He's going to let you know, can you come outside or not? They asked him at that, they said, Governor Alicia Reece from Cincinnati, And he said, I know Alicia. He gave my whole resume. I couldn't believe it. I was nervous in the mug. I said, why did Channel 5 go ask that question? Trying to embarrass me. I'm just getting down here as the first time county commissioner. He said, she's right about the bus, and we're going to do it. And he put the vans out there, and it allowed us time to get the bus. So this is nothing new for the governor saying that she's right about something. There's times I see him and I say, now, Governor, we got to get this property taxes frozen. He'll grin, what I'm saying? But there's times like with the 513 bus idea, he didn't have to say that. And now with the executive order. And so this has just been, you got to throw it out there. You can't you got to ask. You got to keep asking, and you got to keep fighting. And that's what we're going to do. So we were at $0 on Tuesday.
Correct.
25 million on Thursday.
Is that a 24-hour turnaround? There's a God somewhere.
There's a God somewhere. I said, God.
The Bible says you have not.
Right.
Deacon Reece, help me preach.
Because you asked.
Come on, live studio audience. Wake up out there. You have not, because you asked not. All right, that's all right.
And I almost, and wait a minute, when you say the devil almost had me. He put doubt in me. They was like, Reece, you can't ask for that. And I thought about it. I said, well, maybe I don't need. Then I said, no, I'm asking. I'm throwing it out there. We need an executive order. And so Thursday, we got an executive order. It's not perfect. No, it's not perfect. But Democrats, we in the super minority. In other words, we can get a cardboard and cut it out and show up because they ain't giving us nothing. So in other states that have Republican governors, they're not doing nothing. Democratic governors, they're doing lawsuits. They're doing lawsuits. We got some infusion of some cash. Now they got more to give, but we live to fight another day. And we won't be completely broke on November 1st.
What I appreciate about you, again, it's not about Republican or Democrat. It's the people. It's the American people. So my question, I guess, for you is, if we have a government and a leader that doesn't mind being embarrassed, because most people on their watch, the last thing you want is the government to shut down. What's next? Where do we go from here? What do we do as a people?
Yeah, it's a new playbook. Majority of the time, a president would be embarrassed to have a shutdown. So he would call in all the sides. Y'all get in here because this is embarrassing for me. We have a new playbook. We have a president that's not embarrassed by that.
Correct.
And basically says, as long as we're in the shutdown, the president has more power. To be honest.
So you educate us.
The president has more power as long as the government is shut down. They don't have to deal with the Congress or the Senate.
So in layman's term, basic math for me, you're saying with this shutdown, he has more power.
He has more power.
He wants that. So we suffer.
And so you have that going on. And then the other thing is, remember, they want to reduce the size of government. So now they want people to get rid of themselves. So they say, I want you to work with no pay. And what do we normally do when we got no pay? Most people say, I quit. So now those positions don't get replaced. And so there's a squeeze to say, well, let it go on. So they will fall off the payroll. They will fall off the organizational chart. And so we got to think about that. That's different than prior presidents. And so we're using tactics from prior, we got an old playbook, right? And now they got a new playbook. And even at the county, I've been trying to tell them we can't be in this old play with what we did 20 years ago. That's not relevant now, right?
Correct.
So we're trying to use old playbooks, and they on a new playbook. Both of us play basketball.
Yes.
He's playing fast break basketball.
Mhm.
We're playing setup basketball. We
Yeah.
trying to get the playbook out and run the play. They're running and gunning and taking as many shots to the basket as possible. The other trick that's happening is that he creates the problem, right? We're going to get rid of TikTok. And then he comes back and say, I'm going to save TikTok. And then TikTok writes, we want to thank you for saving. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta read your, when you're playing basketball, when they dribbling the ball, my dad used to say, when they dribble, how many times before it go back up?
Right.
And then you count it, and then woo, you take off.
Still, yeah.
So we're not reading what's going on. And so Congress and the Senate, whether you are Republican or Democrat, there's a movement to kind of make them irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Republican ones are falling in the trap, you know, because they're making them kind of relevant. We're hollering the Constitution, all that. This guy's trying to write his own Constitution. So with that being said, we got to try to, we got to move faster. Decisions have to be made quicker. If we get something passed, we got to have it implemented quicker. We can't, take all day to implement something. I'll make this as a joke, but it's kind of true. If we get approved for a grant from the federal government, I say, I need cash app. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll come and say, this has been approved, and then come back 6 months later talking about now we're going to try to transfer the money. We got to, when we approve the money, all that got to be a one swoop right then. And sometimes at our county, I notice we'll move quick now when the big business, if the Bengals show up, we moving fast.
Right.
Okay. I'll give you an example. Bengals, they approved the deal. I didn't go with it because it left the people out. The people voted to get 30% property tax rebate. And property tax is the number one issue. They approve a deal that takes out the 30%. I said, I can't have that kind of deal. And gives the Bengals $850 million plus interest, which will be $1 billion when you pay it back, plus some other bad things. With that being said, we did it so fast. So we approved it, and then we already posted for the upgrades, right? You had to put a bid out. The bid was out in 2 weeks. Black Music Walk of Fame, we approved it July 1st. Bids to build it didn't go out till Martin Luther King holiday the next year. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, when we get something, we're trying to do the moving the gun range out of Lincoln Heights and everything. We can't move slow, and then the tariffs get a hold of us. Now you're talking about, it costs more. I'm saying all projects must be stepped up with speed, because we're trying to outrun tariffs, we're trying to outrun costs, and we're trying to outrun the fact when the federal government changed their mind. And if they got money, I need the deposit immediately.
Correct.
So we have to start thinking differently. We got to move quicker. We got to be moving earlier. We can't sit back, and we can't just be on defense all the time. We got to be on offense. But a lot of elected officials, I come from an entrepreneurial background. You, of course, entrepreneurial. So I understand you got to move with the trends. You got to move fast. And right now they're wearing us out because they said, man, they over there on education. You run over to education. Wait a minute, they done took the food. Now you done ran over there and took the food. Hold up, they done got the property tax we running over here. Wait a minute, they going after voting rights. So we're not used to that. We're used to one issue at a time. And sometimes we are going to have to split up. Okay, you over there stand at that door for education. You over here, I need you to watch the food. You over here, I need you over here to watch the back door. They trying to take your money over here. We have never been trained like that. And that's what we got to work on.
Can I go back? And I will leave you alone.
Yeah, no problem.
You was on ESPN when it came to that deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll say it. You can't say it, I'll say it. You can just water it down. But what was said, the rumors, and on ESPN, all kind of sports channels, that as far as the people is concerned, the Bengals deal was one of the worst deals in NFL. And so you kind of was going against that. And so it seems as if the nation is looking at our city. And you look at downtown, there's nothing that says black except for the Black Walk of Fame. Can you tell us, do you feel our city, are we in transition up? Are we still back? Are we still back in the 60s? Do you see any type of improvement as far as with our NFL and the black and the things of that nature in our society?
You know, what I'll tell you is that we have to have people, when they do get elected, go on the inside to figure out what is going on with the deal. What I've been seeing is that they want us to just rubber stamp the deal.
Okay.
I went in and read these contracts, and we have to demand one set of rules. We can't have these double standards. And what I do see is just like I just came back from Grambling game and everything, and it just reminded me why I went to Grambling. I went to a black college because I wanted to be trained to be a majority thinker, but in a body of what people will see me as a minority
woman.
Black, but I don't see that. Good. You know what I'm saying? But when you haven't been trained like that, you've been trained that you can't do it. Okay. You can't be a developer. You can't go down on the banks. You can't. And I'm learning even more, everything on the banks, how they do it, the parking. I mean, some of these deals is unbelievable. I mean, every time it's like, oh, we got to hurry up. And then when you show up, it ain't no hurry up. Mm-hmm. And so when people get elected, we need people with some experience, people with the guts to challenge. We're not there for selfies. We're not there to be liked. We're not there for BFFs. I'm not here to be the BFF. I got my own friends. Correct. I'm here for line items, for helping people, for connecting them to the resources. And so what I do see, even outside of just black and white, I even see more have and have nots. I see if you're not in this little circle, there's a little circle that's running everything and getting all the money, getting all the tax breaks, getting all the money. When they call the administrator, he jumps, he finds money miraculously. Right. And then I see everybody out here, no matter what your color is, black or white, these are the people getting screwed. When I ask for a break for the homeowners, that's when my colleagues, everybody, we broke, we got to be responsible. We're repeating what the administrator said. But then when they come and say, we got a stadium deal, he done found the money, or we got another big deal. He done, we got some money we didn't know we had. That's where we got to say the double standards have to stop. And then they only want to show up when it's time to vote 10 days before. And then they want to come through the churches and they want to wave their hands when they need to be challenged, everyone, because you're letting this little group get all the land, get all the development breaks, get all the money. When they show up, they automatically change the rules. Okay. And so that's what I see is going on. And what I'm disappointed in my area is that it doesn't allow for a person like myself to lead anything. They don't want us to lead. They want us to stand next to. And what I learned at Grambling, I'm like, I can't stand mediocrity. I don't care who you are. Yeah. If you're mediocre, you don't get no pass. And that's what happens. So they see you, Walker, you got your funeral home, you got land and everything, and then you come down there and they want to run you through 50 different pieces of red tape. And then the elected people who came out to your church waving, they don't have no information and they going by what they told them, instead of challenging and reading and looking and saying, well, wait a minute, you did it over here. This is the same type of deal over here. Why aren't we doing this? Right. And so that's what and right now, I'll be honest with you, it is time for people. We need people from our communities who have expertise. Absolutely. If we're going to talk the development, we need people who understand it. Yes. If we're going to talk ownership, business ownership, we need people who understand it. We're going to go down here to these offices. We have no time to do on-the-job training. Correct. In these particular times. And then I will say that with this new regime in Washington, he doesn't respect anybody who can't deliver. We are in a delivery. So you can't social media your way there. Right. You can't take a picture and pretend. They're looking for real results, because he's looking at numbers all the time. I'm looking at numbers all the time. Yeah. People don't understand that I'm a technician when it comes to elections. I learned that from my father, Dr. Stephen Reece. We know where the numbers came from. I know where I got my vote. You can't jump up, I voted for you, and wait a minute, what area? I'm looking.
The prophet Jay-Z said, women lie, Men lie, but numbers don't lie. Okay.
And that's what we're in now. That's what we're in now with numbers, and you will be challenged. And that's what people don't understand. Okay. And that's what we're working on.
My last question, I'll go.
He's hosting the show.
This is my last question. All right.
Yeah.
I'm through. We got state rep is on next. Yeah. My last question. Who do you think won? No Limit or Cash Money in the verses? That's all I want to know. The people want to know. You heard it first from Commissioner Reece. You heard it first. Here we go.
We can learn something from this. No Limit came in. They said they were not going to win. Everybody was talking about Cash Money.
Right.
Cash Money came in like a lot of times in our community, all over the place, got the hits, got the ability, but no organization, no leadership. And then here comes Master P.
Come on.
Who y'all said wasn't no good, can't do it. No Limit soldier. I thought I told you. No Limit won it. They came, they were organized, they were united. He even brought the people back that wasn't talking to each other. He came in, Mia X, everything. Yeah. Over here, it shows what happens in our community. Yeah. Mad, Birdman's mad, hating. And then what Birdman tried to do? He tried to come in and divert into something that ain't got nothing to do. That's what happened in our community. Yeah. We be going in a certain way, then here comes some loudmouth to divert us, to get us into a fight, to take away from the progress. And what happened with Master P and Snoop? They was gone.
They were gone.
They dropped that one. Dun, 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 dun. It was over. And then they got out, and Birdman was looking. Wait, Master P, where you at? P is gone. He's out of here. And that's what happens with our community. We get going on something. They start an argument about something that don't matter at all, and we miss it. Anybody that's mad, get to the polls now. Yeah. Don't debate after this. They'll be on the phone on Wednesday, calling the radio shows. Yeah. Man, I would have done this, and I would have. And all I do is pick up their neighborhood and look at the numbers, and I put it down and turn it off. As Kendra say, turn the TV off, turn it off. So I'm telling y'all now, the talk don't work without the action.
Absolutely.
So we can learn that from Master P.
Absolutely. All right.
I
appreciate Thank you so much for answering the people's questions.
Look, he done took over my show, Alicia Reece Soul Food. I got to go to Ashley. Then I've got food on the block. Ashley, we're going to go to Columbus, State Representative Ashley Bryant. What are we doing up there, Ashley? They got these lines drawn. See if we can get her on. Let's see. We're working on it. Ashley. Trying to go to I-71. Here we go. Ashley. Uh-oh. I don't see her. I see me. Ashley.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, man, we're over here. We just had a press conference. I know that the governor, we asked him to sign an executive order, and I know it's not as much money as we could have or want to have, but we were at $0, and he is a Republican governor. The other Republican governor is not doing anything. So we got a little bit of money, but I know you guys have been up there fighting, and tell us what is going on.
Well, thank you first for having me. It's my first time on your show. So
and I'm not in the studio. I'm here at Bethel Baptist Church.
Oh, good. But I am so honored to be on the show, and especially to come direct to you and your audience to really talk about what's going down in Columbus. So as everyone knows, we are totally in a crisis. We have almost 100,000 families here in Cincinnati and Hamilton County that are going to lose their SNAP benefits and today. Right. And so on Wednesday, we had session where we actually, the Democratic caucus put up an amendment, and Rep. Latina Humphrey also had put together a bill, House Bill 502, earlier this week, really urging the governor and House Republicans to step up, use our $3 billion in our rainy day fund. To be able to give some relief to our families. And as you said, the governor did sign an executive order to release about $25 million. But, let's be clear. In my opinion, it's scraps. We have directed more than enough money to the wealthy in this state. While I was not in the House at the time, the budget that was just passed has directed millions. If we really want to get mad, we'll talk about how much money they gave to Cleveland for their football team, right? And so $600 million.
That's what I'm telling everybody. Claim them funds. I'm not giving my money to.
Here we go. So, when you put things like that into perspective, right? To say, hey, we'll give you $25 million to help feed our kids, when in reality we need at least $150 million to even remotely be able to cover the next month. Right. And so 25 million in that respects, it is something, right? Something is better than nothing. Our food banks, well before this, have been struggling because, as we know, families are struggling with this inflation, with this economy, with this administration, and what they are doing to the American people and us here in Ohio. And so while it does, give some relief to our food banks, our families will still be hurting. People will still feel this. And it's important to note that as we put that bill on the amendment on the floor on Wednesday, every one of those Republicans, maybe except one, voted no to feed our children. And they had Rep. Williams stand up and talk about, well, there's more things that we should be thinking about, like our roads. Okay.
Yeah. Now I know the experience up there. Now let me ask you this, Representative Bryant Bailey. I'm sorry, I did Bailey on there. Tell us, because I'm wrapping up a little bit. Tell us about these redistricting, because we hear about the redistricting here in the 1st Congressional District. Congressman Greg Landsman. It seems like what I saw before. They're screwing us down here in Southwest Ohio. I hear that the east of the up north, they're going to be fine, but we're getting killed down here, central and up north. What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you, Commissioner, I have to be honest, and I thank the people in Ohio who have stood up for fair maps, who voted for fair maps. And today was not easy. Leader Isaacson had a very difficult job to do today. But I believe what was done today was actually to protect us in Ohio. Without this particular map that was adopted today, I believe that it would have wiped Greg off the board, Congressman Landsman. This actually protects and still gives Congressman Landsman a winnable seat. It still allows us to have winnable seats in Toledo and Akron, all across the state. What we were facing, the alternative, was disastrous. And I know folks are going, well, why not fight to the death? Why not do the referendum? Which is a big question. But we have to think about, we're in a place where every day the media is asking, is Trump going to seek a third term? Something that is against our Constitution, but that is just how much of a threat that this administration and Republicans across the country are weaponizing their power. We have a Republican, well, it's not supposed to be, but Secretary of State Frank LaRose cannot be trusted to uphold anything that this state does. We've had 2 ballot initiatives, both with marijuana, with abortion, and they have still been able to strip what the people stood up and very clearly said, this is what we want. So in this particular instance, we could not let this go to something where we could not trust that it would actually be certified, especially while Trump is in office. We have been very vulnerable across the country and also in our state in particular. Frank LaRose and our Ohio Supreme Court could not be trusted to protect Ohioans and actually give us a fair process. And so this map allows us to still have these Democratic congressional seats. I think we will absolutely still see Congressman Landsman back up in Washington in 2026. And, we just have to keep fighting. But this, in my opinion, was the best case scenario. It sucks. It is not what we wanted by any stretch of the imagination, but it is absolutely a better option than what was on the table.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. I know we're winding down. I have to have you back on the show.
Please do.
But y'all keep fighting. Let me tell you, Southwest Ohio gets screwed on the Democratic side and Republican side. And when they do these You know, they always want us down here to fight and then have a highly contested primary. And they always get new seats, more seats, Central Ohio, Northern Ohio. I'm all for it. I've been president of Black Caucus, so I know it. But we want to make sure that not only landsmen, but this is a place we were supposed to get an additional seat down here. Yeah. And we can't be in leadership, and we can't, you know, most people when they in leadership, they're going to bring extra home. And we got to bring some extra down here. So keep fighting. I appreciate it. We're excited to have you there. And I'll have to have you back on the show soon. We'll talk property taxes, school funding, and all those things.
All the things.
Where we have a lot more time.
All right. Thank you.
Keep the fight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. We're wrapping up, but I don't want to wrap up. We got a petition drive. I want to remind everybody this Saturday, we're going to have this Saturday, y'all meet me 10:30 a.m. at the Hamilton County Board of Elections. Look for me. I'm right across behind the bank, closer to the Frisch's, old Frisch's side. We're going to march to the polls. We're going to make our voices heard. That's the only way to do it. We're going to sign this petition. But I'm so excited to have this woman right here feed the block. She's going block to block, feeding people. Before there was SNAP, we had ARPA money. You got a grant. You got a van. Tell us what's going on the street. Introduce yourself and tell them what's going on the street.
I'm Shannon Carr, and I'm founder and CEO of Isaiah 55. And so what's going on the street? And so we got a grant from Hamilton County to get a refrigerated van. And the refrigerated van, what we do is we rescue food. And so once a week, we go to a location and we give away free produce or whatever other food that we have. And so we have so many people that are showing up, a lot of people. And, you know, it's really sad when you see people with tears in their eyes over food. Yeah. And so the numbers are rising. And
this is before the cuts to SNAP. That's what people understand. We had a major need even before the SNAP cut. Yeah. And now with the cut, that just makes it even worse.
And I've seen the food at Free Store dwindling. We get a supply there weekly, and yesterday we didn't get anything. And so this week we are very short on food. And so we're hoping to get more next week. We also have a partnership with DoorDash, Project Dash, and they are doing free, waiving off delivery fees for the month of November. So we're going to try to DoorDash as much food, and we'll get up there. We have a restaurant in East Price Hill called Garden of Eaton, and we cook the food that we grow in our gardens, and we give this food away for free. So we're going to be busy. So if you want to, just hit us up and come help.
Well, I think it's super important for us, and we get to see the investment we made. That's why I said when we got the ARPA money, we want to give the programs, but we needed to invest. The van is still ready to go.
And also that came with that is we're turning the restaurant into a licensed cannery. And so where we can grow the food and we can come can it, and then we can give people preserved food.
Preserved food. See, this is what I'm talking about. We making a difference, y'all. Don't give up. Don't give out. Sign the petition. Have your voice heard. Come out and vote. Meet me at the Board of Elections this Saturday, 10:30. Y'all get there at 10 because we started at 10:30. Okay, we'll see you soon. Alicia Reece, Soulfood, live from Bethel Baptist Church. All right, y'all. Have a good weekend. Don't give up hope. And we're going to bring that hot sauce if I have to take it to Washington myself.